Guys, Katara retired. We need to chill about this. What is up, guys? Obviously I am back with Avatar, and today I'm looking at some of the topics and discussions that have been coming out since the recent release, well, not so recent now, of Legend of Korra on Netflix. And most of it pertains to the gang, which is not surprising because that appears to be a big complaint about much of Legend of Korra, alongside, you know, pretty much everything else lots of people complain about. But one that I want to focus on today is looking at Katara and how many people believe that she was done dirty by the writers and creators by making her be a healer and retiring her. And I'm here to tell you why that's dumb. Now, okay, I am going to go by this pretty much point by point, really, and I'm going to start first with people who say she fought Master Pakku to not heal. No, she didn't. Straight up, that's wrong from the get-go. She fought against Master Pakku, firstly to fight the patriarchy because sexism isn't good, but also because she didn't just want to have to heal. She wanted to fight as well. Like, they were in the middle of a war. Probably a good thing to fight, but also to just be labelled as someone who can only be a healer because she is a woman, someone who was strong herself. Obviously, she's not going to put up with that. It wasn't just because she wasn't a fan of healing or she thought healing was dumb. She is a pretty prevalent healer in general. She was able to heal herself automatically without any help or teaching. Didn't even know that was something she could do. She's that prevalent in healing. So she's not against it. In fact, she uses it more often than not. But it was something that she was fighting to have more of with her bending. Not that she didn't want to be a healer. Second, are the people who say that her retiring and becoming just a mother is an insult to her fighting the patriarchy. And again, that's dumb because firstly, she'd always been motherly. That's a big thing that so many people bring up, is that she's a very motherly character. And just to kind of counter this in general, why is being a mother and just a wife a bad thing? No one can seem to kind of answer that. Why is it a bad thing for someone to want to be a mum, wanting to settle down, be a wife to Aang, being a supportive partner, being a motherly figure, and someone who's present in her kid's life for someone who didn't have parental figures for much of her life because of what happened to her mother? The logic is there. Of course she's going to be more vigilant in her children's lives. And again, why is that a bad thing? It fits so well with her character, with her motherly nature in general. She's just like that with her own kids, because now she has kids. To tie back to what I said earlier, she has also always been very prevalent in healing, and it has been often her strength. She is an incredible fighter, there is no doubting that whatsoever, but healing has been her biggest thing, and been like her biggest strength, really, for the fact that she was able to heal burns instinctively with no training, with no realization that she could heal, and just did it by putting her hands in the water and healed the burns in like a few seconds, to being able to bring Aang back basically from death. Healing is her strongest attribute. So for her going to be a healer and working with Korra, and by the way, just because she wasn't hugely prevalent, she's still there healing and helping during the South and North Civil War thing that happened in Book 2. We see her working and healing on these Southern tribe members who have been hurt, so she's still involved even though she's not fighting because she's old. But her being a healer and doing all of that is just something that came naturally to her, so it makes sense that she would teach that and be involved with that more in her older age. And finally, for everyone who complains about how Toph and Zuko were still fighting in their old age, and then just mentioning the fact that why weren't the gang who were alive fighting, and saying, well, Boomy was doing it. Okay, firstly, Boomy and all the old people in the Order of the White Lotus in Avatar, it was wartime. No matter what age you were having to deal with a war. They're in relative peace in Legend of Korra. Being old just means you can finally retire and just, like, as Toph says, leave it to the kids. Zuko is a leader. He has to be active anyway. Toph is Toph. And also, she literally did retire to the swamp to be away from people. Like, still technically not being involved, and she only gets involved to help Korra. Similar to what Katara was doing when she was helping Korra heal in Book 4 and in Book 1, and all the times that we do see her pop up. But again, they're old, they're retired, they don't need to be fighting because they're not needed to, because they're not in a huge wartime where no one can have any peace. And why is it a big deal that she doesn't fight? It's not their story anymore. Katara has retired. She's found family, she has a family, she has her life, she is chilling. And from the fact that this 14-year-old girl was putting up with a war at 14 years old and having to deal with the aftermath for how many years it took for them to kind of heal the world, the woman deserves a break. Yeah, okay, this video ended up being a lot more ranty than I expected it to be. Admittedly, that's also because I kind of had to rush to make this video because I realised I haven't done any recording this week. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you agree that Katara should have done more in Legend of Korra, or do you think it's perfectly fine that she retired and don't really have any qualms about it? Whatever the case, let me know in the comment section down below. Before I sign off though, I will remind you guys that if you enjoy my content and want to help support me, be sure to do so over on Patreon/AHealthyDoseOfFran, which is linked below, where you can support me for as little as $2 a month. It'll help me kind of boost my ability to make better quality content, get new equipment and lighting and all these sort of things, and make my videos better for you guys. So yeah, if you can do that, be sure to go to patreon.com/AHealthyDoseOfFran, and you get stuff like early access and exclusive access, I'm saying that word a lot, to the Discord server for my patrons as well. And yeah, if you can, that's great, but if not, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and follow me on all of my social media. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.